buttons are the only things that matter,
Mhm.
actually.
Everything we're about to say is not an attack to any people.
Involved in the exhibition. It's a critique of the system and I guess the powers that be,
It's because we
but
love
like
the
not in a
people.
religious way.
We love the we love the people, but hate the system.
Exactly.
Maybe it is a criticism of God. Actually, no, it's not.
No.
We can't say that.
That's a whole other discussion. But yeah, so Century of the Artist Studio, but like I guess who is the artist? Like obviously there's art on display and like artists have like sent in their work, or if they're dead then like I don't know, their work has been chosen or whatever.
The children sent in their art.
The children?
The secretaries, I
They
don't
can
know.
have children.
The nephew or nieces or estranged cousin.
The people.
The people.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I mean obviously there are artists involved, but it doesn't feel representative of the average artist, especially like in London, and like the irony in that it's an exhibition about artists in London, but it's not exactly representative of the life of artists in London. Like struggling to make ends meet and trying to find a studio space on top of that is very real, but also not what we're seeing in generally just representation of artists like in media and in public spaces.
And I guess also the studio space is seen as a sort of status symbol sometimes of having, we said this like 7 times, but it's like having the space to create in when most people are just creating in their homes, their bedrooms,
Yeah.
kitchens,
Wherever they can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rooms.
And it's
yeah,
it feels like people who have studios that are like fully furnished, and is that the word, furnished?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or equipped with
That
have
there we
like
go. Yeah.
canvases and stuff.
Like people who have the equipment and the means to create like a full studio. It just feels a bit Tudor portrait, I guess.
And it's like people that have a space designated to creating rather than just creating in random areas, or creating like just a bunch of people coming together in like one kitchen or one bedroom just to create, because like
I mean, there's nothing. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with like having a studio, having a making space, because like, especially if you're a full-time artist, that's basically your office. It's just like the idea that that is what a studio is, and that's like the only thing that the general public, I want to say, considers to be a studio. Like, I mean, like my studio is the box room in my house, or my bed, or like the living room.
Yeah, my studio is the floor, my bed, my desk. Occasionally the bathroom, but that was one time when I was like soaking Polaroid pictures in bleach and stuff, because
I was almost concerned.
It's actually quite, I was just like, I filled the sink with like bleach and then put like the Instax stuff in it, and it really makes them like really, really sharp, and it was like a really nice quality, and I'm gonna do it again. But then again, like I live with 3 other people, and then people were coming in and be like, why is there bleach in the sink? And I was like,
tell them to go use another sink. The bathroom is now your studio.
Yeah, it didn't last very long, but that was briefly my studio.
That sounds really cool.
It was. I still have like 2 of the pictures that actually looked okay, but I'm gonna do more.
It's gonna be so good.
In the long summer holidays, which will fix me as a person.
They absolutely will not be dreaming.
At least I'll be able to sleep in.
That is true. If the cats let you.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and it's like, I don't know, just as young artists especially, the exhibition doesn't represent us, which is like, fine, like obviously the exhibition like wasn't made specifically for us. It's just trying to figure out how we create a space and make ourselves feel seen and heard. And like being a young artist is scary as it is. Like trying to figure out what you want to do, and like, you know, you've got teachers being like, oh, this is what you're good at, and you're like, oh, but I don't want to do that. And then like you've got to pick your A levels and uni degree, and you know, everything's just like so scary when you're a young artist, and like you still don't know what you're doing because you're like a teenager or a young adult, and like you've got your entire life ahead of you, and people at uni are like, hello, please tell us everything about your art, and you're like, I doodle in the back of my maths book.
People ask me like, so what is your art? And I'm like, it's photos and like, it's just hard to explain. But yeah, and then I don't know, and people are just like, oh, well, you know, you should have a backup option and you should have this, and it's like, maybe you should do journalism instead, or something that's like, I don't know, maybe you should go give me like secure, a normal job. My head is like an office job or something, and it's like, where is the joy? Well, obviously some people enjoy that, but I'm like, personally, I would not, I would die.
Marie Kondo in your life.
And I would be like a little Tamagotchi that wouldn't get fed, and I would just die.
Oh my god. Honestly, yeah,
like
that, exactly. And it's, you know, how do we make space for ourselves? How do we feel seen within sort of public spaces and public exhibitions?
And it's hardest to become an artist if you're a young kid and you go into these exhibitions and you see like big studio space and you're thinking like, well, I can't, I that's unobtainable for me. And or even if you're like 15, 16, 20 or whatever, and you go in there and you're like, well, I guess I'm not an artist, might as well pack it in and become an accountant. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen to like a child who just comes in there. I don't think that to be clear, that exhibition's not crushing any dreams.
It's just like the kind of general theme within, I guess, the art world, especially when you're entering like as a young artist. And like a young artist doesn't have to be someone who is young in age, like someone that's new to art. Like it can be discouraging, like seeing all of these accomplished artists with like big studios and like published work and everything, when actually that's a very small minority of like who artists are currently. Like you don't have to have your work in galleries and stuff to be an artist. And like, you know, we talk about this a lot. Art isn't just like painting and drawing and sculpture or whatever. Art is like all the little things, anything that involves creating. And that's also, you know, not being represented, which is, again, fine, because that's not the point of the exhibition. It's just, where do we create those spaces for that to be put into the world?
And I think we already said something about this, but it's like, I don't know, I just think it should be interesting if we, as DNS, like, documented our own studio, or like studio spaces wherever we create. And I just think it would be different, and I think it would just be interesting to see like how most artists, or at least young artists, actually create.
And like the contrast between what is shown in media and in events and exhibitions and stuff, and like the reality for a lot of us. And I think I think that would be good actually for a lot of people to realize that like you can create and you can be an artist and call yourself an artist without all of the things that you think of when you think of like, I don't know, Banksy or my brain has gone blank. David Hockney.
Is he the guy who did the shark?
Shark?
There was someone who did a shark and like a glass, like a thing.
He does the like
shark,
kind of like cartoonish paintings, but not
I'm thinking of someone completely different.
I think so. But like, if you remember the name, I would like to see sharks.
I just remembered it because it's I love sharks.
I love sharks,
I love
dude.
the Megalodon as well, that big shark.
Oh my god.
I actually have a reoccurring inside joke from my friend. He keeps telling me that the don't even know how to say it. That shark.
Big boy.
Yeah, Big Boy is still alive, and I'm like, he's not. He's not alive.
He is.
So you're not taking my side?
No.
Wow. But the maths, the epochs.
Big Boy is still out there, and Big Boy has another big boy because all sharks are gay and they have children.
Yeah.
That took an interesting turn.
Oh my god, it's capitalism and sharks. And
capitalism
cats.
and sharks and cats.
Yeah. Why is the light?
I turned it off because who needs lights when you have vibes? Yeah.
What else did
Where are you? Where
so capitalism and gay sharks, I think.
Yeah, all that.
Okay, I guess it's kind of the myth of meritocracy that if you work hard enough, you'll make it. And then I guess maybe the studios people like to elevate successful artists as a way of being like, you can make it too.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and also,
no.
Yeah, and I can't remember if this is completely accurate or not, but I think in London, isn't it illegal to like live in your studio now?
Yeah, and there's also like been a whole crackdown on like squatting and everything.
And it's like, you know, people can't pay rent, and now like gas prices and electricity's gone up, and it's like, how are you expecting people to, you know, be able to live and also work when you're like not letting them live in a studio? And it's like, if you can't, like, if you have to house share, then you can't exactly work in your house, if you know, or like if you're on rent and like your medium's really messy, like you're doing like, I don't know, abstract painting or like sculpture or whatever, you're gonna lose your deposit. Like, how are you expecting people to make the money to pay for the office space when they don't have an office space to work and create in? And it's just such a ridiculous cycle, and it's like the system is so broken, and
well, it was made like that.
It's not broken. It just works the way that it was meant to, and that's the.
But it is the whole logic behind it is broken.
Yeah.
It's like
there's just like no humanity.
Yeah.
In like the ideology.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you be an artist in that? And I guess people think that success is commodification of your art, which is our next bullet point, and we have segued into it eventually.
We got there.
Yeah, I guess capitalism has taken over how art is made and viewed and thought about. But I guess, well, do you want to talk about Frida Kahlo?
I do want to talk about Frida Kahlo. I always want to talk about Frida Kahlo. It's like, I am going to, what's the word? Beat the dead horse, is it?
Flog a dead. Yeah. Flog the dead horse. Keep flogging
it. But yeah, it's she was just, you know, this amazing anti-capitalist icon. And she was like very, very proud of her indigenous identity, and like all of that has been stripped away to just like unibrows and flowers in the hair. Sirens, lovely, hello. Yeah,
that is
and
London.
All of that has been stripped away, and like she's become a product instead of like a person and an artist. And you know, I think that people who are like, not to be like, I'm not. No, like, it's not like, you know, if you, like the people who are like, oh, you like this artist, name 3 songs by them.
Yeah.
Like, it's
why are you wearing a band shirt if you don't know the band?
And
Ash.
That's absolutely not.
We are not those people.
Yeah, it like, if you like her work, you like her work, and if you don't know anything about her personal life, then absolutely fine. However, if you are going to be investing like time and money into a product, I think you should know the creator and the person's like views and ideas in life. Like, if you're buying Frida merch off like Amazon or like from H&M or Zara or whatever.
I was just thinking H&M.
Yeah. So then that's like completely not the point, because like Carlo absolutely would not have wanted like garment workers working in sweatshops, especially like female garment workers, and you know, that's completely the opposite of everything that she stood for. And it's the same thing that, like, you know, you'll have like typically white people who call themselves like feminists using like Carlo merch or like Empower Women merch, and those would be the same people who like frown upon actual real women of color when they decide to grow their body hair out. Like it's just the hypocrisy is like infuriating.
Or like literal random children who just have body hair, and then
Yeah,
people feel the need to comment on it all the time.
Oh my god. I'm
Never get over that.
same.
So,
We have lived the exact same way.
Yeah.
Apart from you thinking Big Boy Shark is dead. Big Boy Shark is not dead. I will die on this hill. Big Boy Shark is alive.
I fell into the YouTube conspiracy theory videos about Big Boy when I was like 11, and then I saw the truth. I saw the truth.
90% of the ocean has not been explored. Well, like 80% now.
But we know
Enjoy.
But we know the science behind the ocean.
Yeah, we also thought we knew the science behind a lot of stuff.
But
and
like,
then,
the science,
Newton and Einstein
the science
came
of the 20% of the ocean applies to the other 80%.
Not necessarily.
But that's how water works.
No, people think the science of like white people applies to the entire population,
Okay,
global population.
but
That's not how it works.
it's the same water.
There are different the like salt percentages and the.
But like the epochs. I don't know what epochs are. It's like the Ice Age. It was the Ice Age everywhere. I don't know if that's true.
Exactly.
I think it's like,
you don't have a single leg to stand on.
Listen.
I have 3.
Where's the other one coming from?
In my bag.
Oh, okay. Listen, I don't know this. I can't remember the science behind it, but the science behind it.
Yeah. Where were we? Miss Carlo. Oh, Miss Carlo.
Yeah.
I love Miss Carlo. But yeah, so like you are free to like her art, regardless of how much you know about her.
Yeah, and sometimes people do like things just because of aesthetics, and you can't really stop that.
More than okay.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go into the deeper meaning behind everything. Like, that's, you know, if every single person looked into every single thing that they have ever aesthetically appreciated, then, you know, we'd be here forever.
Maybe if capitalism wasn't a thing and all we have to do was just sit around and research, then find out.
That is true, but also, like, there would be jobs that still had to be done.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I mean, if we had, like, more free time, like, a reasonable amount.
If we had, like, a research day.
Oh my god, that would be so
Every Wednesday was a research day. I don't like Wednesdays. Well, I like Wednesdays because it's DNS, but I feel like Wednesdays should be, I don't know, I feel like Wednesday could be research day.
Wednesday should be research day. I think you would like Wednesdays if they were research days.
I'd like all of Wednesdays.
But then again, if they were like state-sanctioned research days, I would absolutely not do that.
Yeah.
We just dug our own grave. Oh, grave?
What?
Expressions suck. Capitalism also sucks.
I don't understand expressions. Sometimes I greatly misunderstand them. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
What's the word? Not being neurotypical. What's the word?
Yeah. Neurodivergent.
There we go.
Yeah. My mum keeps telling me all these random Turkish expressions, and I'm like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
I do like them though, they are quite funny, but then she'll tell me them and I don't understand the sentiment that they're expressing, so I'll just use them in the wrong context. But it's okay.
Honestly, that is so valid. Yeah. That is so cool of you.
Yeah. Also Keith Haring.
Yeah.
He is everywhere. Most listeners do not know his name. It took me 2 weeks to find out his name. I am most listeners. He's like the little funky cartoon man with the hearts that you've probably seen in H&M and everywhere. And it's like, in the wise words of my cousin when I was talking to him about this, everywhere's done a Keith Haring thing. That's what he said.
What?
He said everywhere, every shop's done like a Keith Haring line.
Yeah.
And it's like every shop's done a Frida Kahlo line, every shop's done a Van Gogh. Everyone's done an every artist thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, people think that that's success because that's basically turning your art into a brand and it's instantly recognizable.
But
then
also, like, with Keith Haring, like, no one knows his name. Not many people know his name.
Yeah.
Like, people will just look at a shot and be like, oh, that's cute, and buy it. And, like, that's fine. It's just that that's not what success is like as an artist. We don't even know if they've, like, credited Keith Haring for his work.
It's a little different with Frida Kahlo, because with Frida Kahlo, her face is being sold, not so much her art. With Keith Haring, his art is being sold without so much credit to him as a person. I mean, obviously, Frida Kahlo has been very simplified, let's say. But, there was a splinter of wood stuck in my...
That is not ideal.
I think, anyway. I think, not many people know he was a gay guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived in the 60s, I think.
Dude,
I don't think it was the 60s. 70s. I think he did die of AIDS, and you see, not many people know this, and it's like, people think it's just a cute, quirky, funky art, and his art is cool. Like, his art is cool, but it's also like, people don't know the artist. But it's like,
you don't have to know the artist. You just have to like not hold this, not hold becoming a brand as like the pinnacle of success as an artist.
Yeah, I don't want my photographs on t-shirts. I just want, what do I want out of my art? Nothing. I don't know what this is why I flounder when people ask me what I want to do.
That's okay. Like,
with my art. I'm just like,
sometimes art is just meant to like vibe, and art is a good outlet, and sometimes that's all it needs to be.
And it's like, maybe I want to do photography, but then it's also like, I don't want to do photojournalism, because I feel like photojournalism is a career that is not always ethical, and I don't really want to be going to war zones and taking pictures of things and then guessing to go home and leave that behind. And people say stuff like, oh, well, the photos are going to help tell the story. I don't.
It's a very... There's a lot to consider when you're talking about photojournalism in general.
Charge on. Yeah, so I don't think photojournalism is for me, but it would probably be the most stable of careers, but as a person, I do not want to go into that.
And it's like, just like success as an artist doesn't have to be defined by like how many people see your art or how much money you make. It's just like, what was your goal and have you accomplished that goal?
Yeah.
And that's like all you need. You don't even have to have accomplished that goal, actually. You just have to have like created and you know, success as an artist. And I just feel like a lot more people should realize and understand that.
And the goal isn't to have a gallery or whatever. Your goal can be whatever you want. If your goal is to have a gallery, that is cool. But it doesn't have to be. Yeah. And also, what is a gallery? We've been talking about studios, but what is a gallery?
Yeah.
Because I have a gallery on my wardrobe door that is just loads of notes that my friends and I pass back and forth and drawings.
I have a gallery on my phone that is just full of screenshots I never look back at.
I have a gallery. I've done galleries for like seasons for like a year now. So like spring 2021, summer 2021, winter 2020. Yeah, and it's just random pictures of me and my friends just.
That's adorable.
Yeah, and then I have random category. One of my friends like dyes their hair really frequently, so I have like an album of their hair journey.
That is so cool. Honestly, and I don't know. I guess just like
do what makes you happy.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah. What makes you happy?
As long as it doesn't like hurt anyone.
Of course.
Be nice, and I don't know, just like encourage people, I think, and allow yourself the not even privilege, like the basic, what's the word I'm looking for?
Self-care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like self-compassion, and allow yourself to like, you know, be hopeful and optimistic and do the things that you like, and don't be too critical on yourself. And this is all so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, go easy on yourself. And
what is a studio? We already said that. Did we say so?
You know, just
this is a studio.
Yeah.
We are in a studio.
We are in a studio.
It's cupboard.
We are in a cupboard in
a studio.
In the creative studio in the Whitechapel Gallery. It's a very big cupboard, and we are just sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
In between
It's
a
things
massive
and more
industrial
things.
shell. Yeah, things and more things.
And
And you know what? This is our
slackable.
studio. We are
Yeah.
creating here.
Yeah.
And I think that just like recognizing that a studio isn't always what your initial like idea or impression of a studio is, and
Yeah.
understanding that success as an artist isn't like basically just put all your preconceived notions in the bin.
Yeah.
Again, easier said than done, but like preconceived notions go in the bin and just like accept artists and welcome artists and create spaces for people to feel seen and heard. And
yeah. Also remember your kitchen is a studio, because your kitchen is where you cook, and cooking is an art.
Yeah.
And is where you bake as well.